Hi Taurus, Sun, Moon, Ascendant, or Venus. This is Dane, and I'm going to be doing your March 2022 new moon reading for you. Now I ask if this reading resonates with you. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. If you're interested in any of the cards that I'm using, they will be listed and linked in the description box below. Now before we begin this reading, let us clear the energy space, raising our own energy vibration and releasing any negativity. So take a nice deep breath in, exhaling whenever it feels comfortable for you. Releasing all negativity from the body like storm clouds, letting yourself feel calm, centered, and at peace as we enter into this safe and loving space. So let's see what the tarot has to say. How will Taurus be affected by the March 2022 new moon? Angels and spirit guides, show me clearly. So at the bottom is our rooted self. The left-hand side is our inner self. The top is our heart, our emotional self. And the right-hand side is the public arena, the public self. So let's see what the cards have to say. We have the Emperor, which is Aries energy, and we also have the Five of Cups. So what we have here is a claiming of our power and our desire, and a need to turn away from looking at failures to really looking at prosperities. It's a changing your mind and changing your whole entire life, because we're stepping into a role of authority, a role of determination, a role of focus. It brings us then to our inner selves, which is the Magician, and the Ace of Swords. So with the Ace of Swords, God, Source, Spirit, however you see the divine, the universe, is handing us a gift of knowledge, of insight, of ideas. The Magician is standing before the altar of our existence, claiming our gifts, claiming our power, claiming who we are and what we want. So there's very much a sense of a surety coming through this moon, very much a sense of focus and independence and power stepping forward with us. It brings us to our emotional selves, the Seven of Wands and the Fool. So we're being told here to be very mindful of wasting our energy fighting things that just won't matter, or, people who just won't get it. So just be aware of that. And then with the Fool, we need to take that jump, that step forward. We need to kind of break down the doors and really open up to ourselves. It brings us then to our inner self, and not our inner selves, our public arena self, where we have the Knight of Wands, the Seven of Cups, and the Sun. So the Knight of Wands is moving forward in passion, determination, focus. It amplifies the Aries energy at our root because it's fire sign energy, Aries, Leo, Sagittarius. We're moving towards our dreams during this time. We're really looking at things much more openly, much more honestly. And then we have the Sun coming forward. We have this sense of blessings guiding us. The Sun is the happiest card in the whole entire deck. And in each section, we have a major arcana card. And that's a big deal, because major arcana cards are kind of like, this is what's happening cards. The minor arcana, you have wiggle room. The major arcana, not as much. And there's just this real assertion of power stepping forward with us, and that's really beautiful. Now let's look at what we need to be mindful of during this time. Angels and spirit guides, show me clearly. This is the Star. This is Aquarius energy. We need to be mindful of the corruption of our dreams. We need to be mindful of people who say, well, if you really want this, then you would XYZ type of things. We need to be mindful of what's being said to us and how it's being presented. We then have our chakra energy. Angels and spirit guides. and it's listening. It's the throat chakra. And what we're being told here is to listen. So much of our world is spent talking. So much of our time is spent talking. We don't listen. We don't listen the way that, we need to. And so here, Spirit is saying one of our superpowers during this time is the ability to listen, is the ability to connect. And that's going to be very powerful and very beautiful for us with this moon. Because let us talk about the moon for just a moment. We have the new moon in Pisces. It says meditate and contemplate, which is all about listening to the inner voice, to our inner power, to our understanding. And as we meditate and as we contemplate during this time and really look at what it is, we have the energy of the new moon coming forward, which is the sun conjunct the moon, which brings an end to one cycle and the beginning of another. There's also a burst of energy and insight and intuition that comes forward along with emotional balance. Now, what's really cool about this new moon is that Jupiter is right next to the sun and the moon. So it's conjunct the sun here. And this increases the power of this new moon because Jupiter resembles the sun, where Jupiter, where the sun is all about giving life, Jupiter is all about growing that life, growing what we desire. And that's why we have such an energy of authority, determination, focus really coming forward here. We then have Mars, Pluto, and Venus are all in Capricorn, which gives everything a very practical element. So Mars is the god of war, right? Venus, the goddess of love. Also, Venus rules Taurus. So this is going to be big for us. Our love needs a practical application, which just as an earth sign energy is going to be true for us anyway. We have the strong sense of Aries energy here at our root. Mars rules Aries here. So there's this strong sense of passion, the sense of rebirth through Pluto, which is the lord of the underworld. And then we have love moving us forward. We need love to be stronger than hate, to be stronger than war during this time. Lilith is here, which is also known as the Black Moon. It kind of murkies things up. It muddies the water. So we're not going to be seeing things as clearly as we would want to. There's a bit of confusion that comes forward during this time. So we have to be mindful about that. Now, in the conjunction of Mars, Pluto, and Venus, they are sextile Neptune, which is in harmony with the south and the north lunar node. Now, what this is this is a time where we need to really look at what we want, because our destiny is echoed between the south and the north lunar node, and this makes us very spiritually aware and also gives us a broader vision for the way that we want to move forward towards our dreams with, again, Mars, Pluto, and Venus sextile Neptune. So there's real power here that is coming forward, and the question is, what are we going to do with this power and how are we going to move forward in it? Now, what we have here with this full moon is quite extraordinary. We have, the energy of Aries coming forward. We have the energy of the Emperor claiming our throne, claiming what we desire, claiming what we want, claiming who we are. And as we have that energy coming forward, we're starting to say, this is where I want to be, this is where I don't want to be, this is what's important to me, this is what isn't. And there's real determination here that guides us, that leads us. And it brings us to a place where we turn away from the negativity, the doubts, the fears, the hurts, the pains, and we really start to see the blessings in our lives. It can be hard to see the blessings at times, but what this is we're changing our lives because we're changing the way that we look at things. We're changing our minds, and that is what brings us to the Magician. As above, so below. As you believe it, so it becomes. And so here, as we stand before the altar of our existence, claiming what we want, claiming what we desire, claiming who it is that we are, this becomes the game changer. And as this is the game changer for us, it opens up the doors in such a new way, in such a powerful way, in such a purposeful way for us. And so the Magician comes in and hands us our gifts, hands us our blessings, sees us as we are, but we also start to see us as worth it, as worth taking the blessings, as worth being empowered. And that's what gives us such clarity of mind, clarity of insight, clarity of ideas. We cut through doubts and fears and negativities. We are crowned with determination, focus, insight, power guides us. And it brings us then to the Seven of Wands. It brings us to this place where emotionally we're looking at a lot of the negativity that holds us back. We're looking at a lot of the energy that's being wasted, and that energy is, where do I always have to fight? What am I always fighting for? What is overwhelming me? What is holding me back? And emotionally we're looking at it during this time, and it's like, okay, listen, we have too many people that we have to stand guard against. We have too much going on, and it has been, now, and it has been in the past, that has drained our energy. And it can just be one person. It can be one person that we're always coming into conflict with, and it's like, okay, you know what? Enough is enough. I'm not doing this anymore. It can be removing ourselves from that situation, which sounds easier than it is, but it can also be looking at it and it's like, you know what? You're not worth it. You're just not worth it anymore. I will address it, but now I'm moving forward. And that's where we have the Fool coming forward here. The Fool is saying, go after what you want, go after what you need, go after what you desire. Let Jupiter, let the sun shine within us during this new moon, during this time of darkness. Let the growth come. Let it be nourished. Let it grow within us as we're claiming this power, and let us move forward towards so much more than we anticipated, so much more than we thought. And that brings us to the Knight of Wands. That brings us to passion, insight, determination, focus. That brings us to a place where we are like, you know what? I'm going for it. I'm going after it, and nothing and no one will stop me. We start to look at our dreams and what it is that we want with a lot more focus, a lot more insight, a lot more knowledge coming forward. And as we do this, it's like, okay, this is the game changer. This is the time that I need. This is the place that I need to be in. And these are the dreams that I've hidden in the back of the closet. These are the dreams that maybe even we thought, oh, I have to walk away from this. It's just not grown up enough, or it's just not practical enough. And now Spirit is saying to us, no, in the public arena, we're going after these dreams. We're going after this passion with fire, with purpose, with intensity. And we're letting the sun shine on us. We're letting the beauty come in. We're letting the passion guide us forward. Happiness is coming forward. Are people going to take us by eyes? Absolutely. Are they going to say, why do you get to be happy and I don't? Absolutely. Emotionally, we're going to feel that in a big way, Taurus. What we can't do is we can't buckle to them. We stand our ground. We don't need to engage all the time because it will just drain us. And there's a sense here of I'm tired of being drained. I have so much power that I need to go after. That no more for the draining, no more for the constant fighting. Now it is my turn to jump forward. And that's exactly what we're doing here. We're going after it. We're determined. We're spiteful, not spiteful, but spiteful, like filled with energy in what we want and what we're going after. There's a sense of focus, of instinct, of determination that leads us. And we're guided by what we have dreamt. How we have dreamt our lives will move forward, what it is that we really want, and it starts to shine within us. There's a blessing that comes forward from this moon. It brings us to our lunar message. So let's see what that has to say. So at our root, what we have is we have a time for healing, which makes perfect sense because that's why we're changing our views on things. We're, walking away from the hurt and the pain, and it brings us to will. Will we take advantage of this healing? Will we claim our throne and our power? Are we going to move to the next level during this time? And it brings us to our inner lunar self, which says you are very close to achieving your goals, resistance, but a lot has been trying to crush us down. That's why we're taking the stance. That's why we're also looking at our mind so powerfully and so, passionately during this time, taking in our gifts, taking in our blessings, seeing that we are worth it, having that clarity come forward, because we have been tried to the energy around us, the world around us has tried to crush us. The hurt, the pain, the disappointment that we have been through. It's like, is it worth it? Is it worth it to go after my dreams? Is it worth it to still believe in me? And what Spirit is saying is absolutely yes. It brings us to our lunar self, our lunar emotional self, which says be bold and make the first move. And then it's discernment. Be very discerning about the energy that we let in. Because here, there's also a reason why we're standing guard, right? Because we're not going to let all the energy in that is around us. But we have to be mindful of the time we spend fighting, on the time we spend engaging in energy draining activities that just leave us feeling hollow inside. So that's going to be something that's very important here. It moves us to our lunar public arena self. And it says a personal issue reaches resolution and things become beautiful. And it brings beauty back into our lives. That's where the blessing comes in. That's where the dreams come forward. It's like something starts to heal. Something starts to mend. And we feel like we can finally move forward again to that place that we want to be. And it's like now we can be, excuse the language, but now it's like a badass time to go after what we want, to see what we desire, to say, I'm breaking down the barriers. I'm opening up these doors, and they need to be opened. And it's exciting. It's exciting. And yes, things will get murky at times. So we have to be careful about the way that we step forward into what it is that we want, because we're going to kind of be misled and think, oh, this is where my dream lies. And then we find that we're being lied to, or that, somebody doesn't uphold their end of the bargain. We have to be mindful and careful, but also let ourselves be extraordinary in the faith that we have in our dreams, in our desires, and in the blessing that is a part of us. Our subconscious lunar message is bring love into the situation, realization, because that's when we realize that we are the key, that we're opening up the door, that we are unlocking our future, and we're bringing love into the situation. Taurus, that is what we're good at. That is, a Taurian is a person who loves forever. We might not like the person, we might not be able to stand with that person, right? But we will always have our hearts connected. And that's the power and the intensity of a Taurian that most people just don't get. So embrace the Venus that you were born under. Embrace the power that is you and your heart, because it is extraordinary. Nobody loves like a Taurus loves. Nobody. Our subconscious tarot energy is the Four of Cups. A gift is coming in that we're just not going to see. And when we see it, it can feel like, oh my gosh, this is a burden. Oh my gosh, this is overwhelming. Oh my gosh, how do I move forward in this? And what Spirit is saying here is, yes, it's taking us on a different path, but that doesn't mean the path is wrong. After all the hard work and dedication and sacrifice, we'll be surprised at how we come out the other end. It moves us to our subconscious energy to be mindful of, and that's us. The high priest here is the Hierophant, which represents us, Taurus. We need to be mindful of getting in our own way, overthinking, overanalyzing, really, just getting in our own heads. Be mindful of that, and also be mindful of the energy of other Taurians in our lives that we can completely relate to, and yet are going to be a source of a headache for us, a source of being overwhelming. It moves us to our chakra energy, which is balance. Subconsciously, we're moving towards balance. We're moving towards harmony. We're moving towards a place where we get to see ourselves, where we get to feel, at home in our own skin. All right, Taurus. I hope this reading has resonated with you. I wish you nothing but light, love, peace, and happiness. May harmony always be with you. I'm sending loving, healing energy to each and every one of you. I love you all, and stay safe. Let's end this reading with a meditation, a clearing away of negative energy, a raising of our positive energy as we embrace the power and the intensity of this time, but also as we embrace the power and intensity of ourselves. So take a nice deep breath in, exhaling whenever it feels comfortable for you. May you move forward in peace and in harmony, Taurus, and may you have a blessed moon.